What up? This is Robert Ory.
Or three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
All right. Let's get episode 196 on track here. It's the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. My name is Rob Jenners. That is seven-time NBA champion, Dubai-bound Robert Ory, who dropped on us like as we started to hit record on this week's show. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys I'm going to Dubai tomorrow. I just happened to slip through the cracks. What the hell are you doing in Dubai? Is this an NBA thing again?
No, it's a Laker thing.
It's a Laker thing. Okay.
Yeah, me and Michael Cooper, the Hall of Famer.
The legend.
So, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
To be honest, I have no clue.
Okay.
The
Keeney
Lakers
says you want to go to Saudi Arabia, and you're like, I guess. Yeah,
I'll go. I'm like, so it's so weird, man, when like the NBA or the Lakers or the Rockets ask me to go in any place, and I'll be like, am I free? Are you paying me? I'm going. They could be taking me to auction me off. I don't know.
Oh man, you went old school with that one. Like really old school. Man, I don't think that's happening, but yeah. They're gonna sell you like a Saudi prince.
Exactly. Hopefully a princess.
Okay. Or you never know. You never know. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but most of the time I just enjoy taking these trips, man, because you can make the best out of wherever you go. I've been to so many different places because of the NBA, and it's just been eye-opening and fun, man. Think about it. You get to travel across the country, go to a place you've never been. I've never been to Dubai. I've been to Abu Dhabi, but never Dubai.
Okay.
So you get a chance to experience something different on someone else's dime. What's better than that?
No, sign me up. I'm with you, though. Like, Dubai looks cool, man. Like, It looks like there's a lot of stuff to do in Dubai.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that I am not doing.
What's that?
That big
that Burj Khalifa, whatever it's called, the humongous.
Where everybody goes when it hits the golf balls off or whatever. Hell no, I'm not going up there.
You couldn't pay me to do that. You couldn't pay me to do that.
I'm a chicken when it comes to stuff like that.
Harper, are you afraid of heights?
Okay, so it's interesting when it comes to me with heights.
I know you've been thrown out of a plane. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like thrown out of. You didn't want to jump. They were like, go. But like on that could you stand on that tower of that building and hit golf balls off that thing?
I don't know about that, because then I'm put at the mercy of the elements and
the wind.
If you and anything else that could be going on. Now, obviously, if it's crazy wind, I wouldn't be up there in the first place. But it's just that type of stuff like that where I'm like, I'm at somewhere that high and I know I'm that high and I got to look down. Nah, I ain't doing that. But at the same time, I've been zip lining at crazy heights before and it was fun. So it's weird when it comes to, there are certain things when it comes to heights I will absolutely not do. And then other things, no offense, Rob, but I call it my white list.
No, you're right. You're right. No, you're totally right. It's the white people shit list. I get it. Yeah, you gotta check some stuff off every now.
And I've checked some things off of it too, and I plan on checking some more stuff.
Like what's another one you're gonna check out? We know about the skydiving.
Okay, so we all know like the Victoria Falls, one of the seven wonders of the world in Africa. I think it's at the line of Zimbabwe and Zambia. So at the top of the falls, it's during a certain type of year when it's low tide season, there is this pool. Now, outside of the name of this pool, I think it's pretty cool. It's called the Devil's Pool, where, I get it. Look, I'm not too thrilled about the name either. Where you do a very shallow swim there's a tour guide there and everything. Shallow swim over to it, and it is a pool that has surrounded around rocks. And what you're able to do in this pool, it's right at the ledge at the top of the Victoria Falls. And you're able to swim around. And what you're able to do is, because it's low tide season and that rock ledge is there, you're able to hang over a little bit and see the edge of the Victoria Falls. And somebody's either holding you, or they have a rope there. And I'm gonna put it in a group chat and I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I mean. And you're gonna see exactly what I mean. And I looked at it like, I might want to try something like that. Experience something like that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I
And by the
am
way,
totally good.
swimming in the devil's pool sounds like some shit that happens to you in prison. You know, what happened to what happened to Diddy? He's swimming in the devil's pool. Don't worry about it.
You're right. Like I said, I don't like the name either. But outside of the name, which if people can get past the name, which I understand if you can't,
Yeah,
I know it's a scary experience, but it is one of those things where I've seen some people, I know some people who've done it, and they say it's unlike to be able to experience one of the 7 wonders of the world and you be at the top of it like that and to be able to look over and to see I think they call it the place of thunder because the water sounds like thunder.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I get it. It's cool. Like, I think the concept of that is cool. I think the reality is like
the idea of it is
the
cool.
idea is great, but then when you're at the edge of of effectively the earth, you're like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm all right. Well, listen, Rob, have fun in Dubai and maybe do like a zip line or something.
No, I'm good.
That man, all of 6'9", 6'10", he ain't going on no zip line.
Ain't putting him on a zip line? No.
No,
Sorry,
not
man.
at all. Not at all. It's too.
No.
They already said you had to be a certain weight, and I'm like, I'm good.
It's the minute there's a restriction, Rob's like, I'm fine.
Are you past the weight limit?
Yeah.
Oh man.
In my mind, if I could have been, 200, I'm past the weight limit because I ain't doing that shit.
I thought you were starting your new Ozempic ads. I'm Robert Ory for Ozempic.
No.
I got to lose some weight so I can ride on a zip line. That's what they do in those commercials, by the way, too. Every time they have a commercial for some medication, it's always some guy like on a zip line or playing tennis or some shit like it has anything to do with the actual medication. All right, well, where do you want to start this week, dude? We got a bunch of stuff. Trade deadline's coming up. The Jayson Tatum is soft story, I think, is hysterical because it's so stupid. We got more Jimmy drama. I mean, what interests you? What piques your interest this week?
I think the fact the Jimmy drama is interesting to me because when you're mad at your team and your team is mad at you, they can put that aside because they're more interested in winning. They're like, okay, am I mad at you? But no, fuck that. I want to win. And he's our best bet at winning. So it's amazing how sports can bring you together, not just the people who aren't playing, but the people who are playing. Because I remember playing with a bunch of motherfuckers I didn't like, but I played because I wanted to win.
Do you care to call these specific people out? There are a bunch of guys you didn't like that you played with? Or?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool. Just make sure.
But you know what? It was mostly in college, though. I mostly all my NBA guys I really liked. It was just mostly in college. I didn't like people.
Okay.
You ain't got to like the person.
No, but it looks like they. I mean, God, there's so much weird stuff floating around about Jimmy right now because it was like the story was that it was like the Heat players didn't want him back on the floor. They didn't want him in the locker room because they didn't think he was good for the team culture and they didn't want to play with him. And then he's back in the lineup, and now apparently he has like tripled down on this thing. He has said to Pat Riley he wants a trade, but then he went to Mickey Erickson and said, no, I want to trade. And his son, who's the CEO of the team, you're going to trade me. So like he's in everybody's face being extremely vocal, including the team owners, about the fact that he wants out of Miami.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Someone once said, like, you're the last person to know you're no longer the man. And I think with Jimmy, because Jimmy has had issues everywhere he's been. Chicago, everywhere. Minnesota, Philly. Now we're looking at, Miami. I think Jimmy is sitting there thinking that as good of a player as he still is, the money that he wants, I think he still thinks he's the man. And I like Jimmy Butler. I like, I like the way that he plays. I like the mentality that he plays with. But I think, bro, after you've gone to so many places and you've had so many issues with various different things, at some point in time, you got to look in the mirror. Now, I'm not saying Pat Riley don't have some blame in this too, but bro, you're not getting another $50, $60 million annually. It's just not happening.
Well, I mean, are you saying from the Heat or in general?
I'm talking about in general.
You don't think he gets another contract somewhere?
I think he gets another contract. I don't think he gets the number he wants. He wants another 50 to 60 million.
Well, I think too that's going to depend on, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, that's going to depend on where he lands. Like if he ends up in Phoenix, because that seems to be where all roads are leading at this point, that he's trying to get himself traded to the Suns. So are the Suns going to be able to afford to even pay him that with the payroll they've got?
This is not the LA Dodgers. You can't.
We don't have unlimited monies.
Yes. You think about what Booker gets. All right. Then you think about what KD gets. He's not going to be able to get $50 million. Think about it. That's 50. That's what you can get $50 million, but you're going to be back where you were losing because you can't. That's their problem now.
I was going to say the Suns ain't good now.
Yeah, they're not good now because they don't have a bench. They can't afford any other, complimentary players. So if you go there, it's not like you're going. You better off saying, okay, I want to go to Dallas. I want to go to San Antonio. I want to go somewhere where you're gonna make the most of your $50 million because of no state tax. But
oh God, I got to get you that shirt. I keep forgetting. I gotta write it down. No state.
But yeah, but I don't think about it. If you get Jimmy Butler and you're gonna have to give up Bradley Beal, aren't you really getting the same player?
I think
I'm not saying the exact same player, but to some degree you're getting the same player.
Okay, yeah, I guess from a perspective of what the position he plays on the floor and what he adds to the lineup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I think Jimmy's a better player than Bradley Beal is.
Mm-hmm.
Now Bradley Beal ain't been healthy, but
he hasn't been healthy. Now I do think Bradley is a better shooter.
Yes.
But he's not a better defender. So I think you're not losing anything offensively, but you're also gaining something defensively. But Jimmy's 34, 35? I think somewhere around there.
He's 35. Yeah, I think that's right.
35.
Yeah.
Dude, like.
No, you're right. You're in the space now where this is probably one of the last deals you're going to get.
But it's not even just about the space. There's only a few dudes in the NBA at that age who you can warrant giving that kind of money to. One is already on Phoenix.
Yeah.
And the other one wears a Laker jersey.
And one in Golden
Warriors
State.
Jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say there's one in Golden State.
Like I said, there are three. Okay,
makes like 60 a season.
You're
He's
right.
doing okay. Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about Steph.
Yeah,
but those are the three.
But speaking of Steph, it's very weird. They've been very quiet on the scene. It's been all the rumblings about they trying to get LeBron. The rumblings that Steph was unhappy in the interview. But if you put Jimmy Butler on that Golden State Warriors team, that's a nasty team over there. They can do some work. So
Draymond would like it.
If I'm Jimmy Butler, if out of all the teams that could be contenders, if you added my piece, if you add your piece to the Suns, you don't become a contender. But if you add your piece to the Golden State Warriors, you become a contender. Just because of what Steph can do, and especially what, the nasties you and Draymond are bringing together, y'all fucking be like the New York Knicks back in the day with Mason and Oakley. You be scaring motherfuckers, So to me,
throwing elbows,
yeah, that's what you got.
Bet the over on Tex. Bet the over. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, you're right. It's got like a very like a 80s Pistons vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like where it was like, okay, we're gonna get out, we're gonna scrap a little bit, we're gonna play rough, we're gonna play a little dirty. But what would Golden State even have to give up to make that happen?
I think the only asset they have over there is I think they need him.
But that's not enough. I don't, in that. This is going to be a situation, I think, wherever he ends up going, where there's going to be like 4 teams involved, where pieces are moving around. Because I've seen the Bucks and Chris Middleton involved in this somewhere, where he goes to somewhere to kind of make the money work and make the pieces work, and it's going to be a one of those weirdo NBA deals with like 4 teams involved.
Yeah,
where I think he ends up. Well, I think he best fits.
Where?
Like I said, I think Dallas is a place where I think he can fit because I think he adds a level of defensive presence to that squad. And people sit up here and talk about, how whether him and Luka would mesh, and I think he pushes Luka in ways in which Luka's never been pushed. So I think he does for Luka what he tried to do for Joel, and Joel realized how important Jimmy was after he left. You see Joel rave about Jimmy these days, talking about how amazing he was when he was there, how he pushed me, how there are certain things that I see now that I didn't see then. And if I had a chance to have him back, like, I think he does that for Luka. Now, whether Luka appreciates it while he's there or not, I don't know. But I think his toughness pushes Luka to be able to be better defensively, get better in shape. Because Luka needs to be in shape. He's not in shape. And I think he needs that backing.
And we've talked about this 100 times before. The Mavericks need defense. Yeah. And Jimmy at least brings you defense. And if he's going to push you to play better defensively, then that's an acquisition that may be worthwhile. I guess my uncomfortableness, discomfort, if you will, with this Mavericks thing would be you've already asked Luka to bend to Kyrie. And it's worked for the most part, it really has. But now you're asking him to bend again. And it's like, how much longer does that happen before he just goes, look, either we're going to play with me in this role, or we're going to do something different, but pick a damn lane.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy would fit there, because if you think about Kyrie has kind of changed his whole image. I'm gonna be more laid back. I'm gonna be a corporate guy, and we know Jimmy. That's not Jimmy, and so Luka could put up with Kyrie. And I don't think Luka is going to get to a point where he says, you know what, Jimmy, I ain't putting up with this. You know, you can bring that attitude here, but hey, look around. I run this shit, and it's going to continue to run this shit because I'm the high dollar man, not you. You know, and Jimmy making his, 49 million, let's say 50 million, whatever it is. So
yeah, I think he's got a 50 million option coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for, you basically putting them in, because you're going to give up something. And what they're going to have to give up to get Jimmy is probably the pieces that they need, and I think the best bet for me still is to go to Golden State, because if you go to Golden State, you're going to have to give up Wiggins, which is Wiggins, we never know what you can get out of him. Love him, but he's up and down. And then you're probably going to have to give up someone like a Looney, who they're not playing that much. Yeah. But if you look at the Golden State's roster, they really don't have but three guys that are making money: Steph, Draymond, and Wiggins. So you're going to have to give up, Wiggins. And that's everybody else is making under 10 million, so
they're not paying Buddy that much, I guess, huh?
No, Buddy Hield is getting like 8 million, 9 million.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Actually,
they rostered
Buddy, yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, if you put Jimmy in that, Golden State forever was the highest paid team in the NBA.
Well, mainly because of the main three. Because of the Steph, Clay, Draymond. Yeah.
And they don't mind spending the money. That's why I'm saying, when you talk about money, they can figure out, like I do totally agree. It's got to be more than just two teams. Yeah. There's going to have to be 3 or 4 teams. I saw an interesting one where it had the Lakers involved, it had the Bulls involved, it had Brooklyn, it had 4 teams. And I was like, and at the end of the day, the Lakers got Valanciunas and 2 picks. And I'm like, now see, that's what the Lakers need to do, because all the Lakers gave up was they gave up Rui, Jackson Hayes, and what's the guy who used to play in Miami that's with the Lakers now?
You're talking about who ain't played much?
Yeah, Gabe.
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent. Yeah.
Oh, and the guy who used to play in Houston, the 3-point shooter. But they gave up they gave up 4 people.
Pieces that they're not really utilizing.
Yeah, that they're not using, because now you got the Dodo and all that. Now, if that trade could go through, because it got Zach LaVine out of Chicago, it put people in places that everybody needed someone what they want. And that,
then that's definitely not going to happen. If it makes too much sense, it's not going to be the thing that's on the table. But we will. Listen, I do want to talk about the Lakers a little bit here in a minute. We are going to get to that. And we brought up the Suns. We're going to talk about the Suns a little bit more, because I have got some stuff from Lou Will that I want to play for you guys, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I like Lou Will a lot.
I love
one more thing about the Suns, though, that did actually happen that makes us believe that something could go down. They traded their first round 2031 pick for 3 more first-round picks. So that leads us to believe that they're trying to put themselves obviously in position to possibly acquire Jimmy Butler.
Load some picks. So, yeah.
Right.
Somebody, and we'll talk about it when we get to Lou Will, but I saw on Twitter somebody put, once the Suns get Jimmy, and it was the Brooklyn Nets lineup from a couple years ago. I was like, that's what's going to be.
Wow.
Like. I'm like, oh, boy. All right, listen, Rob. We're still talking about the playoffs. We're still talking playoffs. Our friends DraftKings are back. We do love DraftKings. They're a great sponsor. They've been with us for a long time. And look, man, if you want to get in on the playoffs action, it's conference championship weekend. You got to do it at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs. And you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Yeah. Place that first bet. Try betting on something simple like a player to go score 6, or go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your own pick.
All right. It is conference championship week. Here we go. I don't know how we did last week, but I was big on the Lions. That did not work out for me. That a few things kind of blew up in my face. But here we are. The NFC Championship game. Commanders at the Eagles. Phillies at home. Laying 6. What do you think, guys?
I think, the Commanders are looking pretty good. When you have nothing to lose, like I always
Daniels,
say,
man.
When you playing with house money, sometimes it just works. And with I don't know the status of Hurt, but I think I'm going with the Commanders in this game. So I take this.
I'm going Commanders.
I know my boy Roosevelt will be upset because he's a big Philly fan, but I'm sorry, Ro.
All right.
Nah, Philly ain't sitting well with me to what my Rams were this close. Last drive.
Dude, they were knocking on the door, man. Yeah.
And so, because we were that close and we weren't able to finish the deal, I'm hoping the Rook and Jayden Daniels can go in there and get the job done because they rolling right now. What they did to Detroit, man.
Let me tell you, I'm with you both. I'm leaning Commanders for the reason of if Washington can do to Saquon Barkley what they did to Jahmyr Gibbs, and they made it very hard for him to get any footing in that game. He was not. I mean, they didn't let him get off the ball. And if they can do that to Philly, and Hurts is not 100%, then I don't know, man. I think Washington's might be a little upset pick here. So I'm kind of leaning with you guys. All right, AFC Championship game. This is, I think, the best game on the docket by a mile. Bills at the Chiefs. Kansas City's at home laying 1.5. So this is pretty much a pick 'em. What do you think?
Yeah, after watching the way they screwed over my Texans, I'm going with Kansas City. The refs are on
all the memes of the refs in the Kansas City Red have been just brilliant.
You got to roll with the Chiefs, man. I'm just not going against 15 against 11.
Okay, Harp.
Oh, look, it's gonna be a good game, but it's gonna be my homeboy. I'm rolling who I believe is the best quarterback of all time, and that's Pat Mahomes. So
I find it impossible to bet against him now. It's like he finds a way all the time. I'm going Buffalo because I really want to see somebody knock out the Chiefs. I mean, I'm begging for it, and it's been like ref save after bad call after non-call for the Kansas City this season. So I think Kansas City's going to get there, but I'm going to roll with the Bills, man. I'm pulling Buffalo big time in this one. Well, whoever your pick is and whatever you want to pick, bet the touchdowns, bet all the plays over at our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BIGSHOTBOB. That's code BIGSHOTBOB.
You got to say it that way.
Yes, you got to say it that way.
Yeah.
And for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly, that's new customers to get $200. That's a lot of money when you just bet $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
All right, here we go. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Thank you very much to our friends at DraftKings. We
DraftKings.
very much appreciate their support. And all our great partners, too. We appreciate everybody who helps keep the show rolling. We love you because we do it for fun. All right, listen. We brought up... You want to do Lou Will first or you want to do Lakers? Because you brought the Lakers up.
Man, let's go Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou. All right, we were talking about the Suns. Lemon Pepper Lou does not think the Suns are a very good team right now.
Just not a very good basketball team. You know, I've been holding out hope for the Phoenix Suns for a season and a half now, thinking that they're going to turn it on and they're going to turn into this team that we always thought. But you know, they're showing it. They're a 500 basketball team. They don't play defense well. They got all the scoring in the world, but they haven't been able to figure it out and put it all on the same page where you can see how special this group can be with KD, Booker, and Bradley Beal and all of the other guys. It's just a bad mix of guys. I expect them to be active come the end of this month in February to see if they can right this ship. But, you know, like I said, they're a 500 group, and in that Western Conference, being a 500 team is just not going to get it done with how some of these teams are built. You know, this team was one of those that we had high hopes for, and they're just falling short.
So Lemon Pepper Lou is not buying the Suns. I think he's right. They're a 500 team, and they're not playing great ball right now. What happened to them? Because it seems like it was 5 minutes ago that they were like a title contender, top team in the West, and now it's like they're just scraping by.
Man, this is the thing. As much as we don't like him at times, Chris Paul can make your team better. You think about when they had Chris Paul, he was able to get Booker off the ball and let Booker use that energy for something else, coming off picks, you know, playing a little defense and whatnot. But now you look at this team, and it goes to show all these GMs, owners, it ain't always about the three big dogs. If you don't have complementary players that make them look good, or you know, cover them in their deficiencies, like on the defensive end, you're gonna suck. So it has to work, man. And people think, oh, we got a big three. No, it ain't all about the damn big three. It's about the guys who sit back and do the dirty work that the big three don't want to do. So that is who the Suns are. Their complementary players are not doing their job, and they just don't have enough of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're top heavy.
Yeah.
And when you're top heavy,
Well said.
you have to make sure that if you're going to be top heavy, that the three main guys stay healthy. Because once one of them is hurt, then you are completely depleted because you don't have any other guys on your bench, or your bench is not deep enough to be able to come in to sustain what needs to be sustained in order for you to move forward. And we know with that squad, as KD gets older, he's susceptible to getting hurt a lot easier and more now. Bradley Beal, I remember when they came and played here in Atlanta, Bradley Beal twisted his ankle, looked frustrated, had to leave out. Now, he eventually came back, but these are the things that you got to worry about guys. Devin, you know, at times is out too. So you put a lot of money into three guys and you don't have much of a bench. That doesn't bode well for success when it comes to the playoffs, because you need maybe sometimes an 8-9 man rotation. And when you don't have 8 or 9 guys that you can trust to go in the battle with, it's going to be a problem. This is the problem they're facing now.
Yeah. Why? What? Aside from health issues, what's the difference with Bradley Beal in Phoenix? Because he just has not looked like the player he's been. Is it all just on his health?
No, I don't think so. I think here's the thing. When you come out into a game and you're the man, that means you can take whatever shot you want, when you want, do what you want. You able to look good. But when you all of a sudden you got to wait maybe 4 or 5, sometimes 6 trips down the floor before you even get a shot, you're gonna look like a common player. And this is what I tell people all the time: is if you go out and you give me 20 shots a damn game, I'm gonna give you 18 to 20 points a game. But if you're only getting and that's consecutive shots. Think about it. Bradley Beal back in the day could come down and take 6 shots in a row. That ain't gonna happen in the Phoenix Suns jersey unless he made 6 in a row.
In Washington, that was it. That was the whole offense at some points, you know.
And so you get to really know what players can do. You know, let's go back to the Olympics. How bad Steph Curry, and I'm gonna say bad, I don't mean bad in a certain way, but how compared to how he looked.
Well, he looked out of rhythm. He looked out of rhythm. Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not used to that, it's hard, man. And I know you probably say, well, he's had a season there, but still though, it still ain't gonna matter because KD is gonna be KD because and then it's Booker's team. You're the third man out, you know, unless you're able to do what the guys did in Miami and have like that's a big part of the big three that can say, you know what, I'm a rebound, I'm gonna get my own shots. You know, it ain't gonna work with a trio a big three that all do the same thing.
All right, let's move on to Jason. Let's move on to Jayson Tatum. Just because this story I find hysterical. The Tatum story.
Everybody be hating on JT.
I'll tell you what, man. Brandon Jennings was on Gil's show, and he said that he thought Tatum was the softest star in Celtics history. And then I guess Tatum said he joked in one of the post games. He had some downtime, so that's why he went on social media, and he just posted a bunch of highlights and stuff. And then he did the softest superstar in Celtics history, where all the capital letters are off and the lowercase are off, like he was mocking him. And then Jennings comes back in the comments. That's the energy I want, man. And it's like, hold on, dude. Like, this man has never. Where do you look at Jayson Tatum's game? Is it because he's not boisterous and loud, and is that where this idea of soft comes from?
I laugh at people when they call players soft. You even when you go back to other players around the league, because they don't be beating on their chest like KD, talking shit like a KG. It's the most ridiculous thing. You can't judge a person because they don't have antics. Antics to me is a fucking cover. If you going out doing these things, that means if you get us alone in a room, I'm gonna walk out because I'm gonna whoop your ass because you just about a bunch of showmanship. And I think with Jayson Tatum, what part of his game is soft? Because he shoots a bunch of threes. He doesn't talk. He just does his game. He doesn't really get upset. If you really look at it, it's like there's a lot of guys around the league that are that way. And there's not that many Draymonds and Jimmy Butlers out there. It's just the most ridiculous thing ever, because people have this image of, if you're a superstar, you got to be demonstrative in your acts. I'm like, no, that's not it. Just because I'm smooth with my shit and the shit looks so good and it looks easy doesn't make me soft.
Yeah, when they started looking for faces of the league, when you start looking at obviously guys that are after LeBron, once LeBron calls it quits and rides off into the sunset, everybody always asks, well, who's the next face of the league? Tatum's name quickly comes up, and then they quickly throw it away. And one of the reasons they do that is because of the fact that he don't say much. Like, Ant-Man is the exact opposite of Tatum. Ant-Man always got something to say. Ant-Man shows all the emotion on the floor. In the interviews, he is unfiltered. Now, you can get fined for that, but I think a lot of people also like that because we not only see him on the floor, but we hear him off the floor. We see his personality. And I think when people look at faces of the league, they want personality. They want personable. They don't just want you to be a hooper. Now, this is nothing against Tatum. If you're quiet, you're just quiet. If you're soft-spoken, you're just soft-spoken. There's nothing wrong with it. But I know we historically see when we talk about faces of the league, we want somebody who we hear speak. We want somebody that's in the commercials. We want somebody that's probably going to cuss somebody out. We want somebody that's going to cuss in the interview.
Just say drop an F-bomb on live TV in a post game.
All of those things kind of lean more towards Ant-Man than they do Tatum. Now, people can say fortunately or unfortunately. That's people's opinion. But based off what we've seen, LeBron for a long period of time has been vocal. There are times we wanted LeBron to shut up because we don't know what he's talking about. But he fits the mold, not only on the floor, but also off the floor. And I think that's something that will continue moving forward. And that's what people want to see.
So is that?
I'm not. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rob.
Because I'm thinking about you. I was sitting here just thinking about. I played with a guy like that. Think about it. Dream never said anything. He was never going to be the face of the league. I don't know if because of his religion, his soft-spoken, or what it was, but people were scared of him, right? And then I think about, if you really think about into this area, what does Steph do that really, that's other than throw his mouthpiece? He's a clean-cut guy. He doesn't really talk much, and it's like, to me, but he has a partner with him that does all the antics for him, but we never say that about him being soft, and you think about Blake Griffin. Everybody used to call Blake Griffin soft because he would never defend himself. He used to just dunk on people and play hard, but we called him soft. It's amazing how we have this image of this tough guy where you have to punch someone in the mouth. and you have to do all these things that are our image of a tough guy. And to me, I think the toughest guy is those guys that don't retaliate, who sit back and take all this punishment and say, you know what, do what you do because I'm more mentally strong than all you motherfuckers, because I have to go through all this bullshit on the floor, and then I got to do even more bullshit off the floor because you think my image is not the image you want me to portray as being tough. So I'm a big Jayson Tatum fan. Even though he plays in that damn Celtic green.
That's the only problem.
I just think, people need to, get off this image of because I don't talk, I don't smack a motherfucker beside the head, that I'm soft.
I agree. Yeah. I think it's just people are used to, And for me, soft is, and I'm not trying to take a shot at him right now because he's a great player, Joel Embiid. Like, he is on the bench all the time. All this load management crap and the injury and the preventive injury, and that, to me, that's soft. Like, get out and play through it. And I'm not saying hurt yourself, but get on the floor, help your team. And if you're not, be vocal, be in the huddle, be up on the sideline, get active. That's soft to me. Guys who, Ben Simmons not wanting to shoot the basketball, soft. That's what screams out. Jayson Tatum, nothing about his game to me says soft. Dude just puts his head down and gets it done. He knows how to score. He's a good teammate. He's a hell of a player. Yeah. I mean, and you don't have to be the face of the league. Not every player's going to be. I think it's frustrating, Harp, to your point, that people look at him like he could be the face of the league, but he's not out there doing all the commercials and he's not out doing the post-game antics and all that stuff. And it's like they immediately go, wow, he's quiet, therefore he's soft. And it's like, I don't like that correlation doesn't make sense to me because – man, the quiet killers are the ones you got to look out for. The guys that don't say nothing, and then they're going to stick it to you when you least need them to.
You know what I'm thinking about this? If you just went over there and just threw a towel in the face.
Oh, just
in the Olympics.
And hit Steve Kerr in the face with the towel a la Danny Ainge? No, we're not going to do that. No, thanks.
He wouldn't be considered soft anymore.
No,
he should have. I think that has a little carryover too. That
but I will tell you,
really say anything about that.
That's true, and that might be where it comes from. But I'll tell you, a lot of people, and us included, had his back during all that stuff. Why aren't you giving him it? But you're right. In the midst of all of that, he never really said a damn word about it. So does that play into the whole soft image? He let Steve Kerr kind of have his way with him, and therefore he's soft. No, I think he was just trying to be a good team player in a weird situation. But
and I think that type of situation is a little different because
very much so.
When you combine that level of talent together, this isn't your squad. The coaches are going to do what they feel as though is best. And obviously with Kerr being on the floor, you knew he was going to roll with his guy Steph. You knew he was going to roll with LeBron. And when KD got back, you knew KD was going to be in there. Now, he switched up the lineup plenty of times. But sometimes you're going to have the odd man out and guys aren't going to get as much playing time as they want. But we live in a time where culturally so many different things, culture defines so many different things. And some of those things are not as beneficial as they should be. So when it comes to the face of the league, there are just so many boxes that you got to check off, unfortunately. I'm not saying that is right, but historically, based off what they are, it kind of is what it is. And so that's why I see guys like Ant or, I don't know what Wemby, we hadn't heard Wemby speak up much, but his stature alone puts him in a different category. But guys like Ant who are vocal, who are in the commercials, who are everywhere, who aren't afraid to speak, whether you like him or dislike him, he's there and you hear him and you see him. And so that's what the league kind of likes.
And comparatively, wasn't that but on the Olympic team? Ant out there yelling and hooting and hollering, I'm going to be the face of this team. I'm going to be the guy that put all this shit on. And he got as much playing time as Tatum did. Like, they didn't play barely at all, the two of them. And he's out there barking and yelling, going, I'm going to be the leader of this team. And Jayson Tatum's like, I don't give a shit. He gave the Mike Malone. Where's Mike Malone? He was very much.
I don't give a shit.
He didn't care. Play me, don't play me, whatever you want to do. I got a gold medal, right? Yeah, okay.
Speaking of gold medals, those are falling apart. Y'all see that story?
No,
what happened?
All the gold medals that they gave in Paris are tarnishing. They're rusting.
Are they really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so a lot of them are sending their medals back because they're rusting.
No.
More so the bronze one than anything. They said it has a lot to do with the touching and the sweat because they try to use this different type of material and they're falling apart.
Oh, man. Way to go,
That's
France.
unfortunate. We've never heard of anything like this happening before, have we?
Not that I can remember, no.
That's wild.
Way to go, France. Let me have a pick your brain about a couple quick things, and then we're going to do Big Shot of the Week, and then we're going to play the trade deadline high-low game here. We'll see how you guys do. I have a James Harden stat of the week, and it's something that I wanted to bring to the show because I did not realize this. James Harden has never missed the playoffs his entire career. I didn't know that. He's currently got the Clippers ranked 5th in the West. They're 23-17, despite Kawhi missing most of the season. He's 35 years old. He's averaging 21.4, 8 assists per game, about 6 rebounds a game at 35. Sometimes I forget how damn good James Harden is. And it took that idea of the fact that he's never missed the playoffs his entire career to remind me, oh, yeah, shit, he is really freaking good. But,
Yes,
I mean, the Clippers right now, I'm stunned that they are where they are. After everything that happened in L.A. with Paul George leaving and Kawhi on the bench and all the mess of that, and then Harden, to his credit, has found a way to keep that bunch together and motivated, and he's playing well, and in turn, those guys are all playing well around him.
Well, that has a lot to do with Norman Powell.
It does. It sure does.
Norman Powell is freaking killing it, and I've been a Norman Powell fan forever. I just think he's always played behind, two people that have been like ball hawks. You think about when he was in Portland, he was behind Dame and McCullough.
Yeah.
Now Paul George and Kawhi, but the guy he's a capable scorer. He's a good defender, and he just goes about his business and handles the game like he's supposed to. So they better think that he's having one of his best seasons. They talk about him being an all-star this year, but I don't know. But it's going to be difficult because it becomes a popularity, contest when it gets in that 6, 7, 8 on down spots. But Norman Powell's been killing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're right. I agree with everything you just said.
All right. Did you see the story about from Bloomberg about LeBron James and Mav Carter reportedly leading a group of investors to raise $5 billion to establish an international basketball league to rival the NBA?
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know how I feel about this because for me, it's like rival leagues never work. They never work.
Especially when all the guys overseas dream is to get in the NBA.
They want to play in the NBA. They don't want to play in the B League.
So, yeah.
They don't want to play in the XFL. They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like the rival league thing never goes anywhere.
You can't convince me. You cannot convince me that LeBron didn't have a hand in this because the report was that it was Maverick Carter, and I'm like,
which is
not
LeBron.
Me, LeBron.
They are
Right.
they are effectively, and I'm not saying this to insult. They're effectively the same person. They work hand in hand on everything they do.
Right.
Hey,
So, yeah.
This is the power play. So when the NBA expands, you're like, look, I did this. That this is kind of. I think this is like frosting on the cake for LeBron to get a team when he retires. Because I think the league is going to expand. Maybe.
Well, we had a little bit of Adam Silver talking about that on Shaq's thing this week on Shaq's podcast. He was talking about them expanding possibly into Europe and possibly into further reaches. They talked about Mexico City. Because they play there a bunch. So I don't know if that's
Mexico
part
City's
of the
too crowded.
Right, but you say that, but Adam Silver's over here going, no, we love it. Adam Silver's over here like, yeah, we play regular season games in Mexico City. Let's put a team in Mexico City. Hey, good luck getting them across the wall when they have to come back, but
Exactly.
You're there, you stay there, you deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, last thing I want to get to, then we'll do Big Shot of the Week, then we'll play our game. Did you watch the national championship game?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep.
It was
there, right, Hart?
It was a better game than I thought.
I didn't
it
go.
was gonna be.
You didn't go?
You didn't go. Okay.
I wouldn't.
I know you had to work the tailgate downtown, and it was like 12.
Certainly
It was
did.
like 12
And
degrees
it was like
here in Atlanta.
15 degrees. I did.
It was,
yes, sir.
It was balls cold here in Atlanta. But a better game than I thought it was. I mean, Notre Dame tried to make a game of it in the end.
I did.
The defense couldn't stop that. Who's that kid? That freshman man. Holy crap.
Oh, Jeremiah Smith.
Yes. Holy crap. Like he was all over the place in that last bomb they threw to him and iced it. They didn't have an answer for him.
They didn't even use him properly, I didn't think. I'm like, dude, this is one of the best receivers in the country, and you're not even using him to, okay, well, it's like this. It's like, okay, man, what do we do? Oh, I forgot. we got the best fucking receiver in the country over here. Let's throw it to him.
And the highest
Now,
paid
what I will
NIL
say-
quarterback in the country. Let him sling it. You know.
Now, I think part of that was, even though Notre Dame likes to play man coverage, I think what they did was they probably rolled a safety over the top of him,
Which it looked
and
like
it kind of may have taken him away. So then you have your number 2 receiver, Emeka Ibuka, who's also going into the draft this year, is going to be one of the first receivers taken, who's pretty doggone good himself, and he ate, obviously, a lot because of that. So Jeremiah, everybody knew going into these games, because Jeremiah Smith, the game before, I think versus Texas, didn't have a really big game either, because they took him away. So,
But when you needed to have an answer for him, you did.
oh, absolutely, absolutely,
You know.
yeah.
So and
Yeah.
look, no slouch. And look, I'm the first guy to shit on Notre Dame. No slouch to Notre Dame. They let that game get away from them in the second quarter, early third quarter, but they've scrapped back into it. It was a 1-score game toward the end.
It was funny. Like you come out with all that energy, and the quarterback ran every fucking play, which I think killed them. You know, you got what's the running back that Notre Dame got, Love or something?
Yeah.
You don't use him. I'm like, and they killed him for the rest of. Think about it, the quarterback was gassed for 2 quarters until the fourth quarter when he finally got his energy back, and it was a little too late then. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, you were down by 21.
Yeah,
at that time. But I got to give Notre Dame. Look, shout out to Marcus Freeman.
Yes,
he did a lot with that team this year.
He did a lot with that team.
Especially after they lost to Northern Illinois. Everyone was like, that's it. They done.
Seemed like so long ago.
I know.
But shout out to Marcus Freeman for changing the way people look at Notre Dame in a sense. Because for a long time, anytime Notre Dame got into the playoff or got into some form of the postseason, it's like, Lord, how many points are going to get beat by this time?
How badly is this going to go?
Exactly. And it almost looked like that. It almost looked like that in the first half.
It sure did.
It was leading that way.
Because I'm sitting up there at we have a bar in the Battery called Sport and Social, big TVs, everything. I'm sitting up there after I get back from the tailgate, and once it became like 31-7, Mama packed my stuff up and went home. I said, I can watch this in the confinements of my own home where there's heat, there's free food.
I've seen this 5-6 times over. I've watched this game already.
Need to be out here watching no blowout.
Yeah. So they scrap back into it, but congrats to Ohio State. But it goes to show you, man, big fat NIL payroll can make it happen.
The highest payroll, $20 million.
20 mil. And now I'm anxious to see what these NIL payrolls turn into, man, because
I think their payroll is going to be even higher next year.
Yeah, it could be. And I think you're going to start to see some of these big teams, SEC teams, Big Ten teams, start to roll out $15, $20 million NIL payrolls every year.
Can I be honest with y'all, though?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the money has as much to do with it as we think. Because when we start talking about Ohio State, they always get the top talent. They're one of 5 schools that always get the top talent, even before they start doing NIL.
Hey, we all know why they got the top talent. Come on now, let's be real. And they was giving out NIL before it was time to give out NIL. Man.
Okay, yes, there was, but all of them wasn't getting it.
Well, that was Alabama. That's why. That's why Alabama's falling off because Saban can't give a kid a Tesla under the table anymore. You know.
Hey, Alabama infrastructure can't handle Tesla, so no.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. What am I talking about? Yeah, you're right. My bad.
No, it's just weird. Think about it. Ohio State took Alabama's receiver. Yeah. And so now they're going to be even better. And I just want to know who's going to quarterback that team next year because.
Well, Howard's going to the draft, right?
Well, he's done. He's done? He played like 8 years in college. I think that was his 5th or 6th year.
I think it was 5th year. Or 6th
Bro, they got another 4 or 5 star quarterback back there.
You know who they're going to probably. They should. You know who should go to that team? And they'll be a fucking beast. Is Manning. He should leave Texas and go to Ohio State and say, "This is from not playing me these last 2 years. I'm out of here. I'm taking my $4 million and leaving."
You ain't getting a Manning at Ohio State, man. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to think about. It's always a quarterback leaving and making a team better
somewhere.
Even Notre Dame's quarterback left and came there.
Yeah,
and so it's gonna be really interesting what quarterbacks out there looking at those receivers Ohio State has and like, damn.
Looking at that transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is funny, though, because we just saw Carson Beck leave Georgia to go to Miami. So it's
Yeah.
like
He with his girlfriend.
his girlfriend, and it didn't hurt that they threw him $4 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That tends to help. But yeah, no, there's always a team's always got money for a quarterback, and like you said, Rob, man, you got enough good receivers. All of a sudden, it's like, well, you gonna pay me good? I got people to throw to. Okay, up my draft stock a little bit.
Or, if I'm a quarterback that's kind of like, shit, I ain't getting no NIL, but I'm fucking good. I'm going over here because I'm gonna look damn good to the draft.
That's true.
To the big money.
I'm gonna go play in the Mountain West. All right, let's do Big Shot of the Week, and then we'll play our game. Big Shot of the Week, by the way, is going to go to Jay Leno. Yes, Jay Leno, the former host of The Tonight Show. Generally a great guy, but he's been spending the last couple weeks in Los Angeles giving back to first responders, working the California community amongst the wildfires. He's out there cooking food. He's serving meals, and he's been doing this for a couple of weeks. And he said, you do what you can do. I'm just helping and trying to do what I can, have a little fun, and let them know how grateful we are for everything they're doing. The LA Fire Department is probably the best in the world. It's like a military operation on the biggest scale. It's pretty amazing to watch, and that's the least I feel I can do. So big shot of the week to Jay Leno, because I think it's easy, too, for a lot of celebrities to go, well, you know what? I put some stuff out on Twitter, and I donated some money, and I think I'm good. And he's out there doing it, man. He's cooking meals and slinging food for these people.
Yeah,
I want to give
time is the best.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to all the celebrities who are using the brands that they represent, and the things of that nature to go out, put the boots to the ground, and then give out a lot of their products. I saw, Vanessa Bryant out there had a truckload of shoes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
She was handing out. So many people had so many various opinions and so many negative things. What are people going to do with shoes? You don't know. People have lost everything. There are some people who were never able to afford a pair of Kobe's. And the fact of the matter that she has this truckload of shoes that she's actually in the field handing these things out to people who have lost a lot of pretty much everything and don't know where they're going to go, don't know what they're going to do, and providing them with a little hope to not only give them a pair of shoes, but to provide them with a shoe that everybody in sports loves. But shout out to all the people who are represented by brands, and they've gone to their people that they represent and say, hey, I want to do this. Yeah. I don't want to sell this. I don't want to give any type of discount code. I don't want to have people go to this website. I want us to get a truck out here, and I want to be able to give this to people who need it because it's bigger than me just making money.
True. Very good. Yeah. And look, it's a rough time out there. Here's the craziest story I saw from the fires, by the way. And I don't know if you've seen this. That the fires melted a lot of the safety deposit boxes at these banks because the fires were so hot that it's like at a certain degree, I think it was like 400 or something degrees, cash will just combust. So if it was cash in that box, it was gone. But at like 4,000 degrees or whatever it was that the fires were burning at, it just melted the safety. So like people had stuff in safety deposit boxes that has not been insured. That you just feel like it's in the bank, it's in a safety deposit. It's literally, it's called a safety deposit box. It ain't going nowhere. And I mean, like almost all of them melted. Like stuff that people literally put into banks because they were like terrified they would lose it at their house. And they've lost, even that stuff, which is just terrifying. So everybody that's out there doing something for the fires, man, big shot. Hang in there. I know California's in a very hard way right now. So
it's with the rain about to come, it's going to get even worse, and people don't even think about that because it's going to start flooding, mudslides. That's the one thing that's always scared me about California because I live in the mountains or the hills, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That now all of a sudden you rolling down, damn boulder come down, or some mudslide, and you get trapped under this and stuff. But that's the scary part. So I'm hoping that the rains come, but there are no mudslides.
All right, well, let's have some fun. I've got NBA high-low game for us. All right. That's my favorite version of the NBA theme song with Kawhi in it. This is easy. I'm just going to give you both a number. You just got to tell me higher or lower. So I've gone through, because we're screaming in on the trade deadline here, coming up on the 6th of February. So we're a couple weeks out. I'm going to give you a number. You just got to tell me if you think the actual real number is higher or lower. So, for instance, Shea and Giannis are right now tied for the scoring title. 31.5 points a game this season. They're both tied. Higher or lower Shea is shooting 60% from the field.
Shea is shooting 6%.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is shooting 60% this season from the field. Higher or lower?
I would go a little lower.
Okay.
You know what? I think he's shooting 63%. So I'm
Really?
higher.
You're going higher. Point to Harp. It's a little lower. Yeah, it's 53%. Shooting 53%.
Oh, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the field. All right.
That's 60-some odd percent. That's crazy.
Higher or lower, Kawhi Leonard has played in 3 games this season.
Lower.
He's higher because he played like against the because he didn't play last night. So I'm saying I think it's 3. He played 3 games.
No, he's played in 5. It's the higher. Rob's right. So Rob gets a point there. He's a little bit higher.
Okay.
All right. Jokic is having another Jokic season. Higher or lower? He's shooting 45% from 3-point land this season. Higher or lower?
Higher.
Higher.
And you're both right. He's shooting almost 50% from 3 this season. That's nuts.
He's taking good shots.
He is, but that's just the idea of him shooting threes is bananas to me. All right, higher or lower? Trae Young leads the league in assists this season. He's averaging 10 a game. Higher or lower?
Higher. I think it's right or a little higher than 10.
I thought he was averaging like 11.3 assists, something like that. So I'm saying higher.
You're both going higher. Yeah, 11.7. Damn, almost 12 assists a game for Trae this season.
He's had quite a few 2020 games.
Yeah, we had that on our show the other night. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Victor Wembanyama leads the league in blocks. Higher or lower? He's averaging 5 a game.
I think that's lower.
So he's the only player in the league to knock down 100 threes and have 100 blocks. Dang, 5? I'm gonna say slightly lower.
You're both right. 4. He's just right around 4, like 4.1, something like that. But still, four damn blocks a game.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right, Anthony Edwards leads the league in 3-pointers made at 170. Is that higher or lower than the actual number? Anthony Edwards has made 173s this season.
He's taken more than anybody also. So
He has. That's the next question.
that's lower. I think the 170 is lower. I think it's a little bit lower. It might be like 165 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a little lower.
You're both wrong. It's higher. 182 he's knocked down. Knocked down 182 threes. All right, so you teased it there, Rob. Anthony Edwards on those 3-pointers. He's taken 450 attempts this season. Is the actual number higher or lower than 450 attempts?
Hold on, because there are 41 games. How many you say?
The number's 450. Higher or lower?
It's a little bit lower because he's averaging 10 threes a game.
Okay.
I know he's shooting 10 threes
It's like
a game.
10.3 or something is the average.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say slightly lower. Yeah, I feel like I'll be paying attention in studio now.
See, look at this. Now all that actual work you've done is coming back to help you.
I'm gonna say a little higher.
Point for Rob, a little lower, 425.
Okay, so his math was right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Harp was banking on the fact that you have a degree from Alabama, so he was like,
Hey, 10 is the easiest thing to multiply
I guess
times
that's
41
true, yeah.
games.
You are right.
You're right. You ain't wrong. It's the easiest one. All right, ready for this one? This is nuts. 4 out of the top 5 players who are leading the league in minutes played are all New York Knicks. Brunson, OG, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges, who is leading the league, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They are averaging a combined 40 minutes a game. Is the real number higher or lower than that?
Higher.
It's actually high. I just saw that too.
It's actually a touch lower. The average is 37 and a half minutes
I thought it was like 40,
Oh, man.
40.5. I thought
That's a
someone
touch
said.
lower. Touch lower. All right, speaking of the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns is leading the league in total rebounds
Seriously?
with 510 so far this season. Is the real number higher or lower than 510 rebounds so far this season for Cat?
A little higher.
I'm gonna go lower.
Point for Hardbit is higher. He's toned down 555 boards so far this season.
Damn.
Sabonis is in second with 554. He's got one less rebound. Yeah. But Cat, man, tearing him down. All right, last one. Finally, our boy Dyson Daniels here in Atlanta, leading the league in steals with 100 steals so far this season. Higher is the real number higher or lower than 100 steals?
I think it's a little higher.
I'm gonna follow Harp on this because he should know.
You better know. And you're both right. Yeah, 116, and the next closest is Shea with 85.
Yeah,
so he's defensively, he's throwing it out there, man. He's running away with it. So anyway, that was the NBA high-low game so far this season. But some of those blew me away. I can't believe all those damn Knicks that are leading the league in time played, in minutes played.
I'm not. Tibbs like to run his players to the ground, boy.
They gonna wear him down to a nub.